Hello my friends, who's ready for a fresh round of dupes? I'm so excited to share these with you. I've got a couple of things that were actually requested, things that have sold out that you're really desperate to find a dupe for. And then just some other random things I've kind of discovered along the way that I thought it was time to share. With as many things as I could, I did some demos where I could show you like half the face high-end, half the face drugstore. So you could really get a good comparison that goes beyond just swatches. But yeah, let's jump in. First thing is a sold out product that I purchased actually before it sold out because I saw Painted by Spencer on either TikTok or a YouTube short talking about this particular blush from NARS. It's called Exhibit A. It's nothing new. It's a really bold matte warm red blush, and when he showed that going on, I mean, not only did he actually put it on his cheeks, but he showed how it can go across the nose and the forehead and give you such a beautifully sun-kissed look. It was just amazing. And I thought, I need to try that blush. I'm a blush lover. I know I'm gonna like that. I'm not scared of pigmented things, so let's do it. And not too much time passes after that and I realize, okay, that one has sold out. So I found something else in my collection, and this is really interesting because like I could try to dupe a random Dusty Rose blush. I own a million different Dusty Rose blushes and I could have a hard time honing in on really what the shade is. Here I have like one close color and it happens to be the dupe. You're gonna find the dupe in the CoverGirl palette here. This is the Clean Fresh blush palette in the shade Plum Blossom. So this has 3 different shades, and I bet you can figure out which one is the dupe for NARS Exhibit A. We got this color right here, and it is matte. It is very pigmented, and it really gives the same look on the cheeks. In a swatch, I feel like this one looks ever so slightly cooler than the NARS color, but once I get it blended out and sheared out on the cheeks, I feel like it pulls a little more warm on my skin. So I'm definitely getting that reddish pop of color. I've got it on today, and I've gone very light-handed with it really, especially after seeing the whole look come together. I always feel like the blush appears a bit more subtle than it does when it goes on more in the order of application on the face. And I don't use the word dupe lightly, but I think those can give the very same look. The other sold out item that was requested that I find a dupe for is this Makeup by Mario palette, and it's his Master Mattes eyeshadow palette. Really, really basic. A nice gradient really of browns. We've got warm browns, a few shades in here go a little bit cooler. We have a full-on black. We've got even a reddish brown down in here. Light creamy colors, the transition-y shades. I mean, there's a really nice range. It's a good palette. However, there's something out there, and it comes to mind anytime I think about the different matte options that exist in high-end palettes. Like, for example, that Huda matte palette I tried recently, and I was like, you know, I probably had everything I needed in the ColourPop Gone Matte palette. So here you're gonna pay around 30 bucks, and yes, all those colors are in here and a lot more. Now I realize you're not getting that compact, more travel-friendly size. That would be the drawback, but if we're literally just wanting the basic matte look, I mean, you can come over here and you can get those light shades. You can get any of the transition shades you want right over here. I mean, we're pretty much looking at this half of the palette. We even have like a warm reddish brown. We have a warm brown, a cool brown. The full-on black really is just as good as the black here. This is an exceptional black, and it's really good in Mario's palette as well. But I feel like there's an added softness in these ColourPop shades that blends just a little more easily on the eyes. And I want to show you just a side-by-side demo so you can see it all happening. I started out with kind of like a soft medium color in my crease with the Mario palette, just getting that nicely blended out back and forth. Hopped over to my Gone Matte palette, found what just appeared to be at a glance a similar shade, and it totally worked, no problem. We can go back to the Mario palette, choose something that gives our crease just a little more depth. Again, blending that out with my same crease brush. That's my Profusion crease brush. And then easily find the equivalent over here in the ColourPop palette just to get things looking a little more rich there in the crease. And then I thought, let's go for deep warm brown in the outer corner. So I went to this color right here in the Mario palette and I started patting that on the outer part of my lid with a flat brush. I even pulled in a smaller, more pinpointed brush just to make sure it really got into the crease and everything got nicely blended. And then the equivalent color over here in the ColourPop palette is this one called Powder Puff. Same exact brown. So you're gonna just, again, pat it on the outer part of the lid, work it up into the crease. I did wipe off my brush to kind of attempt to clean off any lingering color when I went back and forth between the eyes, but that was just a really easy step, and I found the blending a bit easier with the ColourPop shade. And then I grabbed this kind of light, buttery looking color right here from the Mario palette to just fill in that gap there on the inner part of the lid, and Fluff Up appeared to be the good equivalent to that shade in the ColourPop palette, and I used that on the other eye. And so I got got a nice basic, kind of naturally contoured, but a little bit smoky and lifted in the outer corner type of eye. I really feel you've got all the options here, plus all these cool options. I mean, if you were looking at the Huda Cool Matte palette, think about these two rows right here with the plums and the mauves. That can really do the same work as the Huda Cool palette, and probably if you got the Huda Warm palette, you'd have a lot of those colors in here too. This is no secret, I've been a huge fan of this palette for, gosh, has it been over a year, a couple years now? Really high quality matte colors, a beautiful wardrobe of shades. While I think palettes like this, they don't make me think, oh, so travel friendly, just because it is kind of big, but it's also flat and I have no trouble storing it. I store any of my palettes this size upright like this, like they're in a little bit of a mini bookcase over here. And also in that size, Bare Necessities is really good if you want multiple finishes, but a neutral palette. The Stone Cold Fox one is really nice too if you like cool tones. There's just a lot of great quality there. Getting into another face thing, this one I was able to demo. Going a little out of order here, but this came before I put on the blush. I realized that my Hard Candy Face Off bronzer has a high-end dupe. I mean, I was fully content with this. I wasn't really looking for a dupe of the Glossier Solar Paint in the shade Ray, but I just thought, I wonder how close those are, and they really are close. They also have the same kind of applicator. I like that as a wand, so it's really easy to just streak it on the face where you want it. There's a little bit of goldeniness in both of these shades, and when they sheer out, I think they create actually a really natural contour. I adore Sweet Tea from the Hard Candy Face Off line. They're pretty similar in texture, but this one actually blends out quite a bit easier. If you don't watch all my videos, but you click this because it said dupe, I've been talking about Hard Candy a lot in recent months, and these Face Off liquid bronzers and liquid blushes are incredibly good. Definitely worth looking into and a total dupe for that product from Glossier. And then this one, I didn't feel like I could really demo it accurately on my cheeks because I had that NARS blush on, but I'll just tell you about it, and I do have swatches. But this Say blush in the shade Chili, this is gorgeous, by the way. This is a really pretty, kind of classic rosy blush. There's a nice bit of depth to it. A tiny bit goes a really long way, and it has some moisture in it as well. It's absolutely beautiful. I've been loving that one for months, but there's a shade in the Face Off blush called Who Is She? And it also has that kind of rosy creaminess. I just talked about how these Face Off blushes blend in with ease. You're not gonna have to like rush around to get it blended in because it's gonna set too fast. No, they're really easy to work with. I feel like there might be a hint more luminosity in the color Who Is She? But when we're talking blushes, you know, when you look at an opaque swatch, it does not tell the story. These are products that are worn sheared out all over the cheeks, and these I think really give a very similar look. This one maybe is a slight bit more actually dewy in its texture, as in can continue feeling a little more tacky on the skin, especially if you apply a large amount of it. This one has a hint more glow and not as much tackiness on the skin. And by the way, there is a color in this line called Born Yesterday. It's a beautiful cool pink, and I don't have even any high-end product that's really close to that. Like, it's very special, a really unique, cool pinky color, and I would definitely recommend picking that one up as well if you find these. Some of these I found in store, and I actually ordered others online. Speaking of Hard Candy, a couple of their lip liners are dupes for some of the new Too Faced Lip Injection Extreme Lip Shapers. So I've got one of those on. I'll start with the one I'm wearing. I've actually got Too Faced on the top lip and the Hard Candy on the bottom lip. And since applying them, I did put on a little bit of a balm. This is the Ride or Die Lip Balm in Tough Cookie from e.l.f. But let's talk about these for a minute. These Too Faced Lip Injection Extreme Lip Shapers. So these are a lip liner. The packaging is cute, but they're going to click up at the bottom instead of twist up. I don't love that idea because, I don't know, I like the ability to twist your liner back down, especially if you accidentally clicked up too much. But this color called Puffy Nude is like a nice medium cool nude. You can see the shade on my lips coming off really nice and cool. And the thing about the feel here, as we know with lip injection glosses, there is kind of a tingle, a little bit of a burny sting, and I do feel that with these lip liners, and it's kind of weird because they last so much longer than one of the lip glosses. So you can have one of these on and then hours later not really feel an active tingle on your lips, but randomly lick your lips, and there's a bit of a bitterness there. It's odd. You'll be able to tell like, oh yeah, that's still hanging on there. But I don't really love that. I don't love the taste, I guess. I don't love that feel hanging on a lot longer, and I don't feel like the plumping impact is that great. Who's here? Oh my goodness.
Hello.
Hello. Oh, what's a Squishmallow is here too. Turn the light off in the bathroom. Anyway, there's kind of a tingly sensation. It lasts a while / has kind of a bitter, I don't love to lay my tongue on it feel. And it makes sense. Something like this is able to cling onto your lips a lot longer than one of those glosses is. But I do really like this color, and it's just like this one from Hard Candy, which is in the shade, it's the Instapout lip liner in the shade First Move. I have two of these Hard Candy lip liners, my Cool Nude and my Warm Nude. This is the more cool one, and I put that on my lower lip, and it's just the exact same shade, glides on easily, no weird bitter tingle. Plus, there is a little brush on the other end, and I think that brush is so handy, especially if you're applying one of these lip liners like on top of a lipstick. Sometimes you want to adjust the shade a little bit, and this helps you like blend the lip liner into the lipstick. You feel me? Okay, so it's a great product. Plus, these are very long wearing. They're in the ballpark of wearing nearly as long as the Revlon Color Stay lip liners. Plus, when I went to wipe my swatches off my hand, these did not want to move, but the Too Faced ones wiped off fairly easily. Now, there is a warmer shade in this line called Hot and Spicy, and I feel like I've got the dupe for that one as well. So all the same formula commentary applies here. You know, it does have that little bit of a tingle that you're gonna feel, but here we're talking kind of a medium to deep, warm, neutral type color. And from Hard Candy, the equivalent shade is gonna be Kiss and Tell, and this is gorgeous, by the way. I love this toasty color. Really the same vibe, and again, got the brush on the other end, makes it so nice for blending into other lip colors. So definitely look into those Hard Candy lip liners and look into the Hard Candy Face Off products because they are on another level. And one last thing I do want to mention, this is a dupe that I've talked about in several other videos, but I know not everybody sees everything and some things can get lost in the shuffle. But Kosas Cloud Set, this is an exceptional setting powder. I love how sneaky it is. Like, you can put it on the skin. It's not giving like shimmer and shine, but it's not looking dry and cakey either. Like, you could just pop it on and it does some kind of nice blurring, you know? And so I started out with the shade Breezy, used a lot of that, loved it. And then I thought, I wonder what the lighter shade, the one color that exists in this line that's up from that, would be like on my skin, on my under eye. So I got Airy, and I really like it too. Okay, it's a beautiful baked formula. Love the product. But then I got myself some Maybelline Fit Me powder. I know I enjoy this powder because I have one in a color that really matches my overall skin tone, and I use it from time to time. It's really good. I had recently recommended it to someone who was asking for a pressed powder recommendation that would mattify skin but not come off like powder foundation, not have as much coverage as that. So I recommended the Fit Me, and then I looked and I saw they have this shade called Porcelain. Getting it home and swatching these two side by side, they're the same color and about the same like thickness that goes on the skin. The texture is so similar that it picks up like the same kind of amount on the brush. Similar softness in these things is what I'm trying to say. And the way I often use the Kosas Cloud Set is at the end of a look or at the end of my face steps, go into it with sort of a smallish, medium, dense brush. This is the Morphe Under Eye Bullet Brush. And I kind of pat it on what I call the seam between under eye and blush. And it kind of perfects that little area. You can get kind of side of the nose all the way back to the hairline. Okay, that's a good zone for that product. And this gives so much of the same look. And it's also nice in a touch-up mode. So from side of the nose, hit the top of the cheekbone and on up. If you apply it really lightly, this isn't gonna like undo your highlighter. I'm not even wearing highlighter today, but it just does some smoothing. And having this brightening color called Porcelain, you know, it's up from my all over skin tone, and it really does what Airy does. Lightens, brightens, evens out when I use it as a finishing touch kind of step. I'll often use it after the whole face is done, and then possibly come up and do a little touch up, and then I'll hit that lighter shade all over the T-zone. You know, you're not masking it all over your face in a heavy way, but just lightly in those high points of the face areas. It's a wonderful product, and it's crazy how similar these are. These Kosas Cloud Set powders are Emily Award winners, you know, at the tail end of last year, and I really felt they were so unique and special for a long time, and I still love you, Kosas Cloud Set, but there's something else out there. And if you're watching this and you're a deeper skin tone, just think about what shades in this line might be 2 to 3 shades lighter than you, okay? For me, it happens to be the one called Porcelain, but check it out, see what might work for you. Those are a very, very similar feel to the Kosas Cloud Set, and I'm very excited to share that. So I think that's all my dupes for now. Thank you all so much for watching. I love uncovering dupes, but I don't do it lightly because, I mean, I'm not content with things that are halfway dupes. I really think people in the beauty community need to grab hold of of the word similar, because some things are simply similar, you know, and we don't need to call it all a dupe and water down that term, right? But thank you guys so much for your time. Let me know if there are other hard to find products. I asked this on Instagram as well. Anything that's been sold out, maybe discontinued, hard to find stuff. If I have it on hand, then I could maybe try to find a dupe for it too. So thank you so much. I love you. I'll see you soon. Bye.